everyone, I'm Kim.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Kim and Kat Read a Book. Thanks for joining us today on our 4th episode. And we have a special guest here, Dickens the cat. He is one of my foster cats, and honestly, I would foster fail him if I hadn't signed my life away saying I wouldn't foster fail any of these kittens. But if any of you are interested in a kitten, I swear this cat is a unicorn of a cat. He is just so cuddly, so chill, while still having lots of playfulness. He doesn't care what you do to him. He's just really into people. Very sweet.
He started basically climbing on me the moment I walked in the door. So he's my best friend right now.
Yeah. And our unofficial mascot, Scout, may make a guest appearance. He's milling about right now, but he's not the biggest fan of the kittens, so we don't know whether we will see him. Okay, well, we're gonna start off talking about our knitting.
Yay! Well, to start, I'm wearing a brand new sweater. I made it in 2 weeks, so I feel like a god.
I know, my record's like 4.5 weeks, so
it was at the beginning of the school year, so I didn't have much to do, like work at home wise, and so basically all I had to do was just, and I was done.
Nice.
Oh God, we're good. It was the half a foot fall. That cat is fine. It's made with a Malabrigo-Rios, and then I believe it was something grapes. It was a type of wine. Grapes is the color, and then just some blue sky wool light of the yellow and the white. The pattern is a free pattern off of Hobbii. It was a Starry Night pattern, and it's originally was blue, but I'm a purple person, so purple.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
purple and yellow are contrasting colors.
Exactly.
So it works really well. I'm wearing my completed Ripple crop top by Jessie Maed. The yarn is moss fibers, sock, something or other, and I love it. I haven't, full disclosure, I haven't blocked it yet, so it's a little weird in places, but it's so cozy. It feels great against the skin. I think it's very flattering. And then
with Ryan yarn.
There's Cats, that's in Ryan yarn, and yeah, it's a great pattern. We have, we probably have like 15 to 20 people making it at the store.
We were sitting in the shop yesterday, and I believe there were 4 people actively working on their Ripple crop tops at the same time.
Yeah, somebody even that was like brand new and had never sat and knit with us before was working on one. So yeah, highly recommend. A really quick knit. I loved that the sleeves were so short.
Yeah. It works well with a short sleeve too. Like it's only like 20 rows for the sleeves, and
yeah, probably 20 or 30. It's like 2.5 inches, I think. So yeah, honestly, the worst part for me was picking up the stitches for the sleeves, and I made the shop owner Jen do it for me.
Yeah, it's pretty helpful about that. I also really hate picking up or casting on, but that's fine.
Yeah,
that's what knitting circles are for. I forgot to mention that when I blocked this on Saturday or Friday, something like that. And when I did, it literally, it grew, the sleeves was to here, and it grew down to there. It grew, Malabrigo grows like nobody's business. It's a sweater dress.
It's a super wash. Rios is a super wash. But I don't know, I like the length of your sleeves. And I was expecting it to be much longer, so.
It did shrink a little bit as it dried. The picture I sent you was wet still.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure it would fit me.
Yeah.
Because I was worried about. But no, like you said, it's a super wash, so it grows really, really long. Couple other things I haven't sewn in my end, so Dickens having a field day. Last video I mentioned I was making a bunch of hats. This was the hat I started during that video, and then I've also made these other 4 hats. This is not all the hats I need to make, but I'm taking a break in order to work on some other stuff. I also, in the video before that, started this blanket, which took me 22 days, and I finished it. Woo! Blanket. This
So cool.
What is this made out of? I've forgotten what this is made out of. Berroco. That's what it is. And I love, what is this called?
Mosaic crochet.
Mosaic crochet. It just feels like, to me, it feels like it works up really, really fast because you can see the progress very clearly. Mm-hmm. I also mentioned that I went to Athens to get some Ryan yarn before Unravel closed. And this is the ones that I got. I got 4 of these. I didn't bring all 4 of them. I still don't know what I'm doing with it, but it's at least an article of clothing's worth of yarn. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then, I know I'm talking a lot. I just brought a lot because I forgot it all last time. I went to a My Chemical Romance concert last week. No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And that was in Tampa, Florida. And the yarn shop that they have there is called Pop Yarn. And it's a relatively small yarn shop. But I got some more Malabrigo-Rios, this time in the Anniversario color, because it reminded me the most of all of the My Chemical Romance cover art. I don't know what I'm going to make. Probably a hat, because it's only one skein. But I'm excited to use it because it'll remind me of the concert. And then my current project, my friend, or our friend, asked me to make her Halloween costume outfit, I guess. And she's good. I clearly have not lived in my ends. But she's wearing, she's going as Cher. And so these are the top half of her Cher pants.
Mm. They're going to look awesome.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited. And that's it, I'm done.
Well, I just finished yesterday my October, no, it's not October, what am I talking about? My September gnome, which is a Christmas gnome, named Nutmeg. His beard's a little crazy, but that's what makes him wonky gnomey. Yeah, he was super fun to make. He's the 3rd one of these that I've made. It's the Adventure Gnome. Is the pattern named by Imagine Landscapes, which is Sarah Shira. Yeah, I just love the details on this, like his little boots, the little belt buckle. I did it. The pattern says to do it in black, but I always get some gold thread or yarn and do it in gold. And the little squiggly beard is just so cute, and the little pom-pom on top. Or it's not a pom-pom, it's like a bauble. Yeah, and he's great. He is a unique gnome by her because it's got legs. Not many of her patterns have legs, so he just sits really nicely on like a mantle or something. And then I thought this is a great opportunity to show off some of my other gnomes. I don't know if I showed off my gnome from last month.
I think you did, because I feel like I remember you being like right here on the hat when we were recording.
Well, this beast is finished. Super large gnome. You can tell like twice the height. There's our unofficial mascot, Scout. Hi, bud. I just love the details on this too. I mean, that's just what she's so good at, is like the knitting needles, which came with the yarn, but you can buy them like on Amazon really cheaply in a little pack. But knitting his own hat. Yeah, So that's this guy, and then two of my other gnomes that I've got sitting around right now. This was from earlier this year, maybe January or February, from her book. She released a book maybe a year or so ago, which I picked up at Rhinebeck and got her to sign it, which was super exciting. But yeah, so this little guy, his name might be Naughty, I don't remember. And then it's covered in, my cats really like this one. For a while, I know, for a while he was going like up. I would find him in the mornings upstairs, and then the next morning he would be downstairs, and the next morning he would be upstairs, and it was crazy. But yeah, this is someone to write gnome about, I believe.
It's a very cool hat.
Yeah, I love the hat. I love the self-striping yarn. The hat took forever. She's got a mini version of this too, which I did earlier this year. But he's upstairs, so we get the big version. He's also a big boy. You can see he's right there. We'll leave him right there.
More feet?
More feet. And then this is what I'm currently working on.
It makes its return.
I know. I took it out of the naughty bin, mostly because I needed something else to work on, and I am going extremely slow on these sleeves. Not much to say here.
Right. Well,
it looks great.
So you've done the 6 inches, right? Or
no, I'm at 6. I need to go to 7, and then I can start decreasing at the elbow. So it just feels like it's going very slow, but I'm having to alternate skeins because of the difference in the dye lots, or there are no dye lots in Manos del Uruguay yarn, Alegria.
But there should be, because they're different colors.
Should be. Well, they're hand dyes, so
yeah,
that's the problem. That's the problem with hand dyes. Yeah, anyway, but I am excited to finish this, not only so that I never have to work on it again, but I think it's going to be a great, like, 3-season sweater here, because it's fingering weight, and in Savannah it's just so hot. So this is my first fingering weight sweater, and
it's a nightmare.
Yeah, not necessarily because it was fingering weight, but
right.
It's just not been the best experience. But.
Yeah, this game, it really didn't help. Like, I feel like you had problems initially with the front pattern, right? With the
maybe. Honestly, I can't even remember that far back.
That's fair.
But I think where it really started being problematic was the when I joined the new skein, and it was a completely different color. Yes. And it's just been kind of downhill from there. I lost my momentum. You know?
Right.
Like,
No, I get it. I get it. I've got some projects that I haven't picked up in probably years that I'm like, I know how to finish you. Just really don't want to.
Yeah.
Mostly crochet, because I only started knitting like January.
Yeah.
So.
Look at you now.
I know, right?
It's amazing.
Color work.
It's my favorite.
I love color work. Yeah. Which is, I think I took it out at the beginning of the last video, but when I was starting these hats, I was doing the color work for it, and it looked absolutely garbage, so I had to take it out and just decided to do that duplicate stitch.
Yeah.
But we made it through all the knitting, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yay, we did.
Now I get to talk about the book, which I'm really excited about.
The book.
The book, 3 Bags Full.
By Leonie Swann. It's translated from German, so I honestly I didn't notice. Like, sometimes when you're reading a book, you're like, oh, this is written oddly, or not written oddly, but like translated oddly and like not localized to the way that we would phrase things in English. But it did a really good job, and I really couldn't tell.
I didn't. Yeah. I kept forgetting. Yeah.
I think there was maybe one line that I was like, you don't hear that phrase very often. and it was just like saying, and I think that honestly it's just a British idiom, and so that's why you don't hear it very often in American English or American novels. But the concept of the book is these sheeps witness a murder, and then they go about their day trying to solve said murder. The sheep all have very extreme personalities, and as you might tell from the cover, they're all different kinds of sheep. So I'm assuming this is Renfield. Well, it's the black sheep. Othello. But it doesn't have 4 horns.
Oh, true.
So it might be Sir Renfield, or because this crow is here, it might be Melmoth. But either way, the idea is that you don't really know what's going on because you're seeing things from a sheep's perspective, and sheep don't know how human lives work. Like, one of the points is that when clouds come because sheep have jumped off a cliff and turned into a cloud.
A cloud sheep.
A cloud
is what
sheep,
they call
yes.
them. I was actually saying one of the things that tickled me the most about this book was the fact that the sheep believe that humans don't have souls, or their souls are very, very little.
Because they can't smell.
Because they can't smell. I mean, that is the joy of this book, yes. I think. Like, it's the silly little things about how sheep think about humans, and it really got me thinking, because a lot of I don't know, at least in like Christian circles, there's a debate, do animals have souls? And so that's kind of what made me think about it. I was like, well, yeah, the sheep don't think the humans have souls.
Because they're not like them. Exactly. Yeah. There's a priest character, or priest character, and his name is God, because when he talks, he's always talking about God, and they're just like, oh yeah, that's his God. God did this. Yeah, I hate him. He's mean. Why would he say such things about George? Like, what's wrong with him? Yeah. God must be evil.
Yeah.
And the sheep are just like, they follow him to church one day, and obviously he doesn't see them, but they like watch him in the church, and they're like, what is he doing? Why is everybody worshiping him? They're all down on their knees in front of him. He's not that great. He doesn't even smell good. I've never even seen him eat a blade of grass. It's just like, okay, I get sheep have different priorities. It's really funny.
Yeah, or like the part of the mystery has to do with some of the townspeople trying to break into the shepherd who died. Their shepherd died, so that's the murder that they witness, and break into his like caravan type thing. And they talk a lot about the grass that he's keeping in there, and of course, like reading it, you know that's weed,
right? For sure.
But the sheep are like, grass?
What? Grass is not. There's so much grass.
There's so much grass here. Why do you want the grass that's inside? So it's just like funny things like that I think really make the book so fun.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the little things that you're reading it and you're like, I know these are sheep. They are acting like people act, but also jumping to crazy conclusions. Like, oh, it must be so and so who killed him, because it was like, who else would be scared of this happening except the murderer? And it's like, well, humans don't think about that. Humans aren't concerned with like the smell of a person's clothing.
It must be so and so because she smells bad.
Yeah. Literally, because
smells
she
like
smells
death.
bad. Yeah. Oh, well, isn't that funny? So, a couple of things. One, he's killed, and they discover him with a spade in his chest. They keep saying spade. It's not a spade. Or it's like the longest spade I've ever seen in my life.
I thought it was, what's a spade then?
A spade is like a hand one, right?
No, I did not have a problem with that. No.
I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
No, not 4 horns, but the only black sheep. That's not true. There's this little black sheep, which there are no other black sheep other than Othello, and that's kind of like one of the sticking points at the beginning of the book. So, ooh, gotcha. But that's just the cover. That's not important. Covers usually, or don't always reflect the inside of the book. I thought it was very funny. So George used to read to the sheep. And so they were constantly talking about, like, this is not how books work. This is so in a book, this is what it would be like. In a book, the detective gets the clues and finds the answers, and there's always a Pamela who is horrible and a redhead, and she, like, cheats and, like, is mean, and it's like, Jesus, George, you really, I know you don't think the sheep understand, but also, you really hate your wife. Why are you with her?
Yeah. I didn't think the detective books and the Pamela books were the same. I assumed the Pamela books were like romance smut.
So a little bit yes, a little bit no. Because I think he's in my head he was making up those characters. Like he was naming them all Pamela.
Oh, okay.
Not I didn't even think about them being like dime store.
That's what I assumed.
That makes a lot more sense, actually. That never. I take it back. I was a fool this whole time. George is not as creative as I thought he was. He does still hate his wife, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
What else was good? It had. I mean, it was just really good storytelling. I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say. So I will say that I thought it took me a little bit to get into.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably 100 pages, which is kind of a lot for a book of this length.
Yeah, it's 350 pages-ish, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's hard to know how much of it was the book and how much of it was I'm reading at night and I'm, like, really tired, and so I fall asleep after reading, like, 10 pages. So it just felt like it took a long time to get into it.
Yeah.
And I think there is a little bit of a startup with getting to know the sheep as characters. They're all very different and have all very distinct personalities, but there's a lot of them. And so it just felt a little overwhelming at the beginning. Not overwhelming, that's like overstating it, but it just felt like I wasn't connecting maybe to the sheep.
In the beginning, it felt like there wasn't a clear voice of who was talking. And they really only introduced 3 people with like distinct personalities at the beginning, and it was Othello, Miss Maple, and Mopple. And everybody else was kind of just like, oh, this person, they are people, I guess, in the context of the story. This sheep exists. This sheep is this. This sheep is this. And then they would also just have people who were like, oh, that's just a mom. That's just a mother. That's just an you. That's just a you. Like, okay, all right, well, all right. Do they have any relevance? No, they're just there. Like, okay, well, why did you bring them up then? Oh, but also, we also hate this winter lamb. Winter lamb are evil.
I felt really bad for the winter lamb.
Everybody hated that thing. Even Othello. And Othello was like literally the black sheep. Like, who was also the lead ram, but not really, I guess.
I was a little confused about that. But so I will say the thing that I didn't expect about the book is when I heard, like the tagline at the top is a sheep detective story. And I don't know why, but I thought it would be more sheep like people. Like I thought it would be sheeple. I don't know. Is that like a meeple? No. So when it was actually sheep, like, yes, they're still anthropomorphized because they talk and think and whatever, but they weren't like, I don't know why I thought it was going to be sheep walking around on like 2 feet.
They only briefly walk around on 2
feet. Briefly. With like little detective clothes and so, like, I thought they would be more like people, but this felt more like reality, and it felt almost like, could sheep be like this in real life and humans just don't know? Which also was what I thought made the book kind of fun. Yeah.
That got me guessing. Are you thinking in there?
Probably.
One thought.
Right now, he's pretty sleepy.
But yeah, no, I thought that was really cool. Like, and just you could tell like different sheep from different environments had different processes, like thought processes. Like, there's a breed of sheep in there that are meat sheep, that are meat breed. That's what they call it, and they don't have a thought. There's one of them that has a thought, and he's like clearly like the oldest, and I'm not quite sure why he has a thought, but like
or why he continues to be around.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind
but
of
like
creepy.
Right. So there's when George dies, like she said, people are trying to get into his caravan, and one of those people is another shepherd, but he's a shepherd of a meat breed, so he doesn't like raise them so much. He feeds them and he puts an enclosure around them, but that's it. Because obviously from our perspective, well, they're being raised to be food. But from the sheep's perspective, the George's sheeps, they're just normal sheep like they are, and they don't understand why they're not talking to them, why they're not like trying to run away when they find out that when George's sheep find out that they're meat sheep or meat whatever it's called, meat breed, even to the point where one of George's sheep, who is a meat breed sheep, finds out that they are also meat breed. He's like, no, they're not. They're not like me, so they're not, and I'm not like them, so clearly can't be meat breed. That's crazy. And then it dawns on him, and he has like a little mini panic attack. He's like, oh my god, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me first because I'm the meat breed, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just very like interesting, and I think that a part of that is like depending on how you're raised is how your level of autonomy, because even and here's something that I don't know if maybe a real town has this, but a smartest sheep contest at the end there's one sheep who's like, I've been doing this for years. All I have to do is go up there and drink 4 Guinness. And I get to continue going around and drinking more Guinness. It's pretty great. It's pretty funny. But he himself in the competition is like, these other idiot sheep, I don't know why they signed up for this, because I'm going to win. And Miss Maple and Mopple and Mopple the whale and Othello are like, what? Why do you want to win this so bad? And he's like, I just get to drink Guinness, guys. That's my dream. So it's very like, just depending on how you raise your personality is different. So I thought that was very cool. And I hope that it means that sheep have thoughts. Well, oh no, I hope not.
Actually, I know, right?
I take it back.
I will say this book made me want to go vegetarian.
A little bit.
I mean, I've been like, I skirt around the vegetarian thing for probably easily a decade. And I think about it, I'm like, maybe I should go vegetarian. And this one made me think like, maybe I should give up lamb.
Yeah.
Not like I eat a lot of lamb, but it definitely made me like, oh, these cute little sheep. So one of the discussion questions in the back of the book is, who's your favorite sheep and why? And I have to say that I'm obsessed with Mopple the whale. Not only because of his crazy name, and I'm like, I try to think like, so like on the cover of this book, I'm like, is this Mopple or is this Cloud?
Gotta be Mopple, right? He's like,
gotta be
like
Mopple.
The main ones are
Yeah.
Mopple, Maple, and Othello.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like it's gotta be them, but then there's no 4 horns, so maybe it's Sir Renfield or...
I don't know. But anyway, because this just looks very Cloud-like. There's a sheep called Cloud.
Yes.
And so this looks very Cloud-like. But and anyway, Mopple the whale is like, as his name would suggest, like a really fat sheep who loves to eat. He is just like obsessed with eating. In it, he eats some weird stuff, including grass.
Grass, right.
But yeah, he like during the like cleverest sheep contest or whatever, he's more interested in like eating the treats
off the table,
off people's tables, than participating in what they're trying to do.
Right. Which is solve a murder, and they actually do a pretty.
They do a pretty decent job. Although, like through the whole thing, you're like, they're like floating out these theories, and you're like, this is clearly wrong.
Yes, but it wasn't. Okay, so I want to spoil. So I'm gonna say spoilers now. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
She did smell like death because she stabbed him.
Speared him with a spade,
exactly.
shovel. But she didn't kill him.
Right. That was the biggest. So the first twist, at least on the human side, so there's George, their shepherd, there's Ham, the butcher, there's the priest, who I think gets a name, but they only say it once, so he's God. So there's George, Ham, the butcher, God, John, the like bar owner, Tom, Gabriel, the other shepherd, and then Beth and Rebecca, but Beth. And they discover him dead. The sheep discover him dead. And then the next day, Ham, the priest, and John all go and basically clean up the crime scene. Like they take, I'm pretty sure, do they take the spade or do they just like look around for things?
I don't remember.
But so when those three characters are introduced, the sheep are freaking out because they hate the butcher.
Yeah.
Like he smells like death. They are like, he's gonna come kill us, even though I guess they had concept of meat breed at that point, but then not really.
But not really. I don't think they maybe put it together. They just knew that he smelled like death, and that made them very afraid of him.
And so they freak out anytime he's around, and then the next day it's a really cloudy day or foggy day, and Mopple just pushes him, scares him off of a cliff. Doesn't actually push him, but scares him off a cliff. And so then Ham's in a wheelchair for the rest of the book, which is crazy. But he's then terrified of the sheep. He's like, the sheep are coming after me. That sheep intentionally like scared me off of that. Go push me. He says push me off of that cliff. And later on he's like, he didn't actually push me. I just got scared. I respect you now, sheep. Go about your life. But the whole it boils down to is we discover that Ham was not actually an enemy. That Ham was one of George's only friends.
Yeah. And
that the Bible thumping Beth was also one of his only friends. And another sheep comes back from the dead to return to the flock, and he has like a flashback of George and Ham discovering a dead body and then becoming ostracized by the town because they know who killed him.
Was it him or was it Gabriel that discovered the dead body?
It was Ham.
It was Ham.
Because that's I made a mental note. Oh, Ham's a friend.
Yeah.
So that was like the twist that like you're expected from his introduction that he and John and the priest are antagonists to George because they're implicated in his murder.
Mm-hmm.
But then you find out, oh well, actually he was friends with him at one point to discover another body, and someone else had murdered that body, and so now they were united in that they were basically pinned. That murder's basically pinned on them because they're the only ones who didn't have alibis. Now, was Ham the best friend? The best of friends? No, probably not. He coveted his wife. He didn't actually try to help him like discover the murderers or go to the police or anything like that. But that was the first big twist. The second was that because George was ostracized from the town, he became depressed. and the Bible thumping Beth was really the only person he could talk to, and he didn't want to confide in her in that way, and so up until the very end he was like, hey, I'm going away now. And she's like, oh, you're finally going to Europe, your dream. No, I'm not, but I want you to do something for me so that when they discover my body they freak out, and that'll be a great 5 days, I guess, for the town. So he commits suicide in they're not really, they don't really clarify how, except that he poisoned himself.
Yeah, they're pretty vague.
The rat poison.
Oh.
Well, maybe.
That's a horrible way to go.
It is a horrible way to go, but they offhand, one of the sheeps mentions the rat poison that's in the hay barn, and that's all I could think of, because weed's not gonna kill you like that. So, I'm sorry, grass. But he kind of makes it like a little bit of a mystery by asking Beth to stab him once he's dead, and then puts in his will that, all will be revealed on the Sunday after I die. And
it was not.
It was not at all. No, he just said, let it be. Go on, live your lives, murderers.
Yeah, I will say that my one disappointment with the book was the ending. I wasn't necessarily upset by it, but I don't know why it felt like a little bit of a cop out to have it be he wasn't actually murdered, that he died by suicide, and then Beth tried to misdirect based on his wishes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't fully explored how I feel about that as the thing. Maybe I would have wanted it to be fleshed out a little bit more, because it just kind of comes along suddenly, oh, he was depressed because he was lonely.
Right.
And you're just oh,
yeah,
okay, and it's not the piece. I mean, I guess the pieces do fall into place, but it wasn't super convincing to me.
That's
I guess.
And then for what it's worth, really I think a big part of that is the sheep had a saying, is oh, you don't leave the sheep. You don't leave the flock. And in Melmoth's flashback of Ham and George becoming ostracized from the community, they're all oh, well, he left the flock and he joined our flock, so it's fine. But once they discovered that he had killed himself, they were oh, well, I guess you really don't leave the flock. Bad things happen when you leave the flock. So, you don't leave the flock unless you plan on coming back, and he didn't plan on coming back, so. But that kind of, it did feel a little off, but also we were seeing things from the sheep's perspective.
That's fair.
And so the sheep had no concept of depression.
Yeah.
Or why someone would commit suicide. And that's an actual discussion that they have at the smartest sheep contest. Is the one who drinks Guinness is yeah, sometimes humans just do that. They just don't want to be around anymore, so they don't. And they're oh, I don't get it. Why would you not just eat grass and go about living your life? Which, I don't know. That's kind of another layer to that, is can animals feel things like that, or are they just running on their instinct? But it was kind of felt like it came from nowhere, and I feel part of it felt they were running out of space in the book, and they didn't want to delve into the murder that happened so many years ago, or the murder of George. It felt like it would be too much to put in one book, and I can imagine that they wanted to have an ending to this book, even though there is a sequel.
Yes. So that's a good transition. I just picked this up this morning, actually. Big Bad Wool, which is, what's interesting is I think this book was like written in like 2003 or something. It was early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. And this sequel is only written this year, 2005. So 20 years later, the sequel comes out.
Which is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, so I'm excited. The sheep go to Europe. The other exciting thing is there's going to be a movie next year.
November. It's the
November
according to the
2026. And we're very excited for that.
We had to stop ourselves yesterday in the shop from talking about the cast. So it's going to be Hugh Jackman, Bryan Cranston, Emma Thompson. There were a couple of other people. The only people who are actually labeled as voices are Hugh Jackman as George. I think they did
Emma
Claudia, one of the sheep. Emma Thompson did not have a character under her.
Okay.
But like Claudia the sheep did, and a couple
very
other
minor.
people. Yeah, some like random other sheep. But they didn't want to label who Bryan Cranston was gonna be or who. I can't remember. I think I closed the tab as well, which was foolish because I knew I was gonna be talking about it.
I was trying to think who I would want to play Mopple the whale, and I think it should be some like goofy comedian.
Fair. My brain first thinks of Brendan Fraser because he played the character. But that's like a completely different genre of character. I just really like Brendan Fraser, so I just want him to be in everything. But like, I don't know, who do I think would be a good Mopple the Whale? I think Emma Thompson would be a good Miss Maple.
Yeah.
I think, what's her name?
I also think someone like Helen Mirren would make a good Miss Maple.
That's true. Who would be a good, Cloud? Or Zora. Zora plays a big role towards the end.
True.
Somebody younger, I think, would play Zora. So maybe, what's her name from War of the Worlds? Or World War Z. She's older. She's very young in that. She was a child in that. Maybe Kirsten Dunst would be a good good role for Zora.
Zora.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. I know it's I don't know. I'm stuck in 2005 brain where it's like, oh yeah, Mary Jane Watson, yeah. But I don't know. I'm excited. I think honestly that this second book was probably written because of the movie.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe the other way around.
Yeah, it's so interesting to know why the book here got rebooted and then has gotten all this attention.
Right. And the second book follows the daughter. So
we don't really talk about that, but the daughter,
yes.
George's daughter, is taking them to Europe.
Yes.
And that's what the second book is about.
And her name is Rebecca Flock. So that's pretty great.
Yeah.
They got their flock. Yeah, one of the things he said in his will was that the sheep are his heirs, which is weird,
but okay.
Well, his daughter got all of his land except the house, so like she did get something from his existence ending, but the sheep are to be taken care of and taken to Europe, and then that was all there was to it. But she gets like a stipend based on taking care of them, so her incentive is that she will continue to take care of them for as long as possible so she can continue to get paid. But also, it just says go to Europe, and who knows what that means. So an exciting 300 more pages to find out what they're going to be doing in Europe. But also that she has to read to them, and George, like we mentioned, would read the dime store romance novels, which his wife hated apparently. But she's reading them like newspapers and Wuthering Heights. So, like, part of how they solved the murder is she read just a random page of Wuthering Heights. And Miss Maple was like, huh, yeah, you really are haunted by the ghosts. And when you're haunted by the ghosts, you smell bad. And when you smell bad, like, it was very funny.
Yeah.
That was 3 bags full and a introduction to Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah. So what are we discussing next time?
I think that if I can get my copy back, we could talk about Jasper Fforde's The Eyre Affair.
Yeah, let's do that next.
Because that was the second book that we read in our main book club, our knit group book club. But then we wanted to start making more of these, and so we might just start doing like not like a one-sided, but like an introduction to a book that we like or reading. So I don't have my copy of The Eyre Affair, but it is very good, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I got lots of love.
Jasper Fforde's one of my favorite authors, so it'll be fun to talk about it. I need to start reading. I've been wanting to reread the rest of the series and the Thursday Next series. But yeah, we can talk about that next time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like Thursday Next. I'm a fan of puns.
Well, thanks for joining us. Definitely, if you liked this episode, give us a like and a subscribe. We would very much appreciate it.
That way you can see all of our new videos that come out.
And feel free to recommend a book that you would like us to discuss in the comments. So thanks so much.
Bye-bye.